Welcome to another edition of the Doer's Digest. Today, we're diving into a really tough but essential topic. We're going to look at what happens when trust is just completely shattered, and more importantly, how we, as doers, can respond with real courage and integrity.
This line, it's just absolutely chilling, isn't it? It sits right at the heart of a story about betrayal and its devastating consequences. It's the stark reminder of how quickly love can twist into something monstrous when it's left unchecked.
So our anchor text today is from 2 Samuel chapter 13, and I'll be honest, it's a hard story to read. It is filled with so much pain and failure, but it holds these vital lessons about accountability, about protection, and about justice that we just can't afford to ignore in our own lives and communities.
To really understand how this tragedy unfolded, we first need to dissect what went wrong. And this section, it's all about a crucial theme: how doing nothing in the face of wrong isn't a neutral act. It's an act that actually makes everything so much worse.
This right here, it lays out a catastrophic chain reaction. It all starts with a secret scheme, a private wrong that's born from unchecked desire. That scheme then explodes into an act of violent abuse. But the really crucial point is what happens next: silence. A father, a king, does nothing. And that silence, it doesn't heal the wound. No, it lets bitterness fester. And that ultimately leads to this violent, misguided attempt at revenge. You can see how each step just directly enables the next one.
So yeah, it's a bleak picture, I know. But even in the middle of all this wreckage, there are these clear guideposts. This story, in its very brokenness, actually points us toward a better way forward. It shows us exactly what not to do, and by doing that, it gives us a map for how to do what is right. All right, let's break down these guideposts. First, secret wrongs, they rarely stay secret, and they always cause public pain. Second, just like we saw, silence is a multiplier of harm. It just makes everything worse. Third, when violence happens, a response is required, not to escalate things, but to protect and to repair. And finally, justice needs wisdom. Vengeance isn't justice, it just creates more victims.
Okay, so we've analyzed the problem. Now let's get practical. Let's build on that with a playbook for responders. This is all about what to do in the moment you are confronted with a crisis of broken trust. The playbook is super direct and clear. Step 1, protect. Before anything else, you make sure the vulnerable person is safe. This isn't complicated. It's the first and most fundamental act of love. Step 2, you name the wrong. Don't use vague language. Speaking the truth plainly is what starts the process of repair. And finally, step 3 is don't go it alone. Involve wise, trusted people who can help navigate the path to justice and healing. Responding to a crisis is absolutely critical, but it's not enough. We also have to build cultures where these kinds of crises are way less likely to happen in the first place. And that's where we move from a reactive playbook to a proactive blueprint for prevention. Now this blueprint, this is about the long-term foundational work. It starts with teaching clear boundaries, giving people, especially young people, the language of consent and respect. It requires holding our leaders accountable, because power without checks and balances is so dangerous. And it means building a culture where it's normal and safe for someone to say, hey, this is not okay, without being afraid they'll be shamed or just dismissed. I know this can all feel, overwhelming. But change doesn't happen in these giant leaps. It happens in small, courageous acts. So the next few slides are just quick, powerful practices that any of us can put into action today. Okay, this is so important. If someone trusts you enough to tell you they've been harmed, your first job is simple. Stop talking, listen, and believe them. Then you empower them by asking, how can I help you report this? Your supportive first response can literally change everything for them. It creates a safe space for them to take the next step. All right, and if you are in any position of leadership, a manager, a pastor, a coach, a parent, this is non-negotiable. Don't wait for a crisis to react. Proactively create a clear, safe, and visible process for people to voice their concerns. You need to make safety a core part of your system, not just an afterthought. And if this topic is hitting close to home because you are the one who is hurting right now, please hear this. Your first step doesn't have to be massive. Just make one call to a counselor, a pastor, a hotline. It's one brave step to say, I need help with something that happened to me. Let me say that again. If you have been wounded, your pain is real, and your healing is not optional. It is not a luxury. It is not something you can get to later. Your well-being matters, and you absolutely deserve to be whole.
As we look at the journey forward, I want you to remember this. Healing isn't about pretending the harm didn't happen. It's about refusing to let that harm have the final say. Healing is the courageous act of rewriting the next chapter of your story. Let's close with this prayer for all of us. May we have the courage to name what is wrong. May we bring protection for the vulnerable. May there be wisdom for those who lead. May the wounded heart be healed. And may our grief be turned into faithful action.